Today we begin with an anecdote because I think it fits in very nicely with the theme of the We Want Plates subreddit. So, a pastime of mine is I really like to try new restaurants that are supposed to have really good food. So, one of the most notable food critics in LA, he recently ranked a very new restaurant as like the top choice in all of LA. I say, all right, well, I guess I got to try this thing out. It's called Vespertine. You can look it up if you want. It seems like most of the reviews will fall in line with sort of what I'm about to say. So, I sit down at the table, and in front of us at the table, there is this, it's like not one tree branch, but kind of like a bunch of tree branches stemming from one thing. And across it is draped like a piece of seaweed, this kind of interesting piece of green, or a couple interesting pieces of greens. And I say sarcastically to the other person, I say, what do you bet that they're going to come over and be like, here, we present to you your first course of shrubbery on top of a branch. And I said it sarcastically. Sure enough, after they serve us drinks, the head chef comes over and he says, may I present to you your first course? Here on this branch, we have a piece of seaweed and then a couple other things foraged from local forests. And I was like, this is perfect for the We Want Plates subreddit. Now, I should say, obviously, a lot of the things here are meant in sort of a negative light. The meal was actually very good. It was probably one of the most wild, unforgettable meal experiences I've ever had. It's not the greatest food that I've ever had. It was very good food. Some of the courses were quite good. But it made me think of this subreddit. I didn't take a photo because I thought it'd be kind of weird, but that was that. So anyway, no, I'm very happy that I went to the place. It's just that first course was like, I can't believe this has happened. So in any case, We Want Plates. We'll see if anything is served on top of a branch here for this last month. Of interesting dishes on the subreddit. We'll start off with, those brushes definitely do not look appetizing. Yeah, that doesn't look entirely edible, does it now? The ice cream actually looks really good. God, I love it. Dude, I had real ice cream yesterday. I usually have the Halo Top, the low calorie stuff, because it's a way to kind of splurge and eat sweet stuff without getting a huge amount of calories, but I had some real ice cream yesterday. You can't replace that. God, that looks really delicious. Even if there are hairs in the ice cream, which might be a little bit iffy. A lemon square served on a piece of shattered plate. That seems like it could be a bit of a safety hazard, potentially. It's a little bit jagged. It's like, they're trying to be trendy. Or maybe it's like, hey, you know how we can save money on plates? What if we break them into fours, and then we only need to buy a quarter of the plates? It'll save us, like, at least probably thousands of dollars. And, restaurants are a risky business, so you may as well budget where you can, even if it involves potentially cutting the customer. I hope they've sanded the edges. My boyfriend got his creme brulee on a porous tile plate with a message. We thought it was edible, but nope, it was glue. But why? Are you sure it was glue? Are you? Oh, it doesn't say like his name on it. It's just, it is the generic birthday plate. You could so easily just do that in frosting and not have to have the happy birthday plate that you fetch and use every single time. You could just have someone, like, I'm not qualified to do that, but there are people you can hire that can definitely execute that with frosting instead of glue. Oh my God. I would automatically, I'd go into that and I'd be like, oh great, I can mix this frosting with my creme brulee. Why is it coming off? Waiter, what is this edible? No, it's glue. I'd like walk out right there. Nah, this is unacceptable. Chicken and waffles served on a beer. Part of me thinks that this is the perfect 2 a.m. I'm kind of already a little bit too drunk, but I don't care. I'm going to have more alcohol right now meal. It looks weird right now, but at 2 or 3 a.m. in that situation, actually, I don't know where you'd be in Las Vegas where they'd be serving alcohol at that hour. You can't serve alcohol past, 2 a.m. here in LA. So in Las Vegas, 3 a.m., you're like, yep, I'm having that. That's probably how it'd work. Prawns in a child's beach bucket on a plate. Yeah, that's an interesting presentation. So many of the things here, I feel like it's a restaurant that's really trying to emulate something fancy and trendy and original, and they just don't really get the execution correct. This is coming from me, who doesn't ever cook anything, but at the same time, I feel like I can, from the outside, still appreciate the difference between, You tried, and you did it well. There is a fine line between the two, and that is on the wrong side of it. Coffee cake in a can. It just looks kind of gross, like you've poured out a raw, like it's raw cookie dough, which is actually really good and tasty, other than the risk of salmonella. But it just looks like you poured it out of the can and you're supposed to eat it. It's got bad association with it. You don't want bad association with the dish that you're serving, even if you think that it looks trendy and rustic and that sort of stuff. My dessert was a literal ashtray, complete with a cigarette and some chewing gum. But it's not actually a cigarette, though. That definitely doesn't look like a cigarette. That looks like a piece of candy, and that's some kind of, I don't know, sugary spices or something. And then is that the chewing gum? Is the cigarette the chewing gum? And then that I was like, that doesn't look like chewing gum. It looks like a nut or something. I don't know. It evokes a negative association, which again is, I guess, like, you don't want that, but it's kind of creative while also just kind of looking gross. Like, I don't really want to eat ash, so maybe not. I just wanted breakfast. Did they just like mix everything up inside of a jar and then put in? It's interesting that you would put an orange on it like you're garnishing a glass of water or something, except it's a glass of eggs and sausage. And is that a little bit of bacon in there? You know, honestly, it probably tastes good, even though the presentation is a little bit weird. And it probably makes it easier to eat everything, because if it's all separate on the plate, then you're like, well, do I want to go and grab a bit of scrambled egg over here, then grab some sausage in the same bite, combine them, or am I just going to eat everything separately? This kind of puts it all together in one easy to eat package. Also, it kind of looks a little bit weird. So, you know, this jungle gym is supposed to be my salad. So you they presented a salad, but not really any way for you to assemble it together. I hope that there's a bowl kind of off screen where you're supposed to pick your ingredients. It's like a salad bar that's portable and brought to your table, in which case I kind of get it. But if not, then I don't get it. Do you eat off of the triple decker thing, or how does that work? I'm just kind of hoping that there's a bowl off camera. That's all I can, because if so, then it's kind of a cool presentation, although kind of difficult probably to get everything off of that on your plate. It could be a lot of spillage. Wouldn't be my ideal mechanism, but yeah, whatever. I found some plates we can use. I think that, so it's funny that this is super coincidental, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just super meta, but down here, I think there was when bowling alley shoes meet bowling alley food. More plates. There you go. Just in case. Which came first? 27 days ago and 4 days ago. So maybe they saw the other one. They're just like, this is funny that these are marked as dinner plates. Anyway, potted bread. That's kind of interesting, I'm not gonna lie. That works though, because bread is hand food, so the presentation doesn't negatively impact your ability to eat it. You pull the bread out of there. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's kind of cool. Because usually the issues with the things on here are they negatively impact your ability to eat the food. In this case, it doesn't. I like it. I love bread as well, so I don't care what the bread is served in. As long as it is bread and edible and has butter with it, I don't care. I love it. I want to eat bread now. Huge burger served on a small frying pan. Why? So you can make a mess on the table, which is a barrel. Yeah, I mean, definitely, the shoe doesn't quite fit. It's a little small, but you know, when you're eating a big, nice, beautiful burger, it's gonna get messy, and if they're serving it to you like that, it's their fault that the table is gonna get messy. You might as well just treat the table as a plate. My problem, dude, when I'm eating like a big burger, we're not talking about like a little fast food burger, but if it's a big burger, once I start eating it, once I have the thing in my hand, I can't put it down. It's impossible. You have to hold it all the way until you're finished. Otherwise, you put it down, the thing falls apart. So I know once I've committed, I'm so sorry to the person I'm having a conversation with, but it stopped. Allow me to enjoy this because I can't drop it now. That's all. And so it's almost like the size of the plate doesn't even matter because it's in my hand permanently at that point. I'll try to eat over it, but it's probably going to end up on the table as well. Then I have ketchup all over my hands, but oh, does it taste good. And I recommended to my friend that he get his cheeseburger in a cup. But why, though? Did your friend say that I don't enjoy buns, or I'm gluten-free, or I want to cut the carbs? And they're like, have it in a cup! And then they just sprinkled like tater tots on top of. Oh my God. Oh, that's so bad. Dude, that's so bad. Oh, I'm so sad. I was just talking about wonderful, juicy, messy burgers, and then you do that to it. Jesus. Oh, it's reminding me of this like smoothie challenge that I haven't posted yet, but I did. And it's filmed, and blended burgers are one of the things. It's not that good. Taquitos in a cigar box. I think I mentioned this last time on this subreddit, the first time we did it, but Providence, my favorite restaurant in LA, not favorite non-sushi restaurant, they do Wagyu beef cigars presented in a cigar box. The presentation is it's nicer than this. It's much more perfectly framed, and anyway, but I like it. It's one of my favorite dishes that they serve there. This looks sort of similar. It's probably not Wagyu beef. God, I sound like such a dickhead saying that. It's not Wagyu beef taquitos, is it? But I bet they're okay. It's I think it's funny. I like it. Oh, thank God, a section just for us. Things we put on plates, as opposed to what kind of place are we at? Mediterranean, Arctic cod, smoked ribeye, seafood paella. I don't know. It just seems kind of like a generic American mixed food kind of restaurant. Why would it not be on a plate? I guess that's just their way of saying entree, because I'm sure there's other stuff. But yes, I get it. It's just meta, referring to the subreddit. Restaurant fined £50,000 for using wooden chopping boards as plates. Is that a salad? That's the worst salad I've ever seen in my life. How disappointing. Is that the dressing to go along with it too? It looks like pea. It's just a few pieces of lettuce and cabbage, and then that. Is that supposed to be gourmet? And you served it on a chopping board, which I'm assuming the issue is it violates health and safety code, because wood can just harvest lots of bacteria in the like little indentations that are made when you cut with a knife. It's like someone saw an episode of Chef's Table and they were like, oh, look at the stuff that people are doing. That's not that hard. I'll just sprinkle a few pieces of lettuce and put the dressing right, a little thing. Classy. Saw this on Twitter, but I thought it belonged here. Okay, it's been almost 6 months, I think. I'm ready to talk about it. I was served food in a urinal in Cuba. It kind of looks like a baby squatty potty, something like that. If you just colored it a little bit differently, I think you could get away with it. But the fact that it's just white, it looks kind of like the shape of a urinal. If you flip it over and put it on the wall, yeah, it looks weird. It just looks like a lid as well when it's horizontal. I don't know. But actually, the food looks like short rib, which I'm sure it tasted really good. My seaweed on a tree branch would have fit in so well here. Even though, dude, can I just say the seaweed thing that was on the tree branch at Vespertine? It was actually really tasty. I was like, this is the first time I've just eaten a piece of seaweed. It had some preparation to it. It wasn't just seaweed, and then there was a dip for it. And it was actually really good. I was super taken aback by it. But anyway, it's just, I feel like seeing all these things. The tree branch would have gone. Someone one day is going to post the thing from Vespertine here on this subreddit. It's gonna happen. Episode of Black Books reminded me of this sub. There are no plates. Well, use recipe books with pictures of plates on the front. Also, what is that? You mean we will use recipe books, not well use it? That grammar punctuation is throwing me off here. Anyway, not actually a thing. It's from a show. They carried my bill out on a typewriter. Interesting. How much? Where are you? Because that looks expensive. Grand total, $1,640. Maybe they bring the typewriter out if you've gone over like $1,000 on your meal. I don't know if this is $1,000. This could be like another currency, very possibly, where that's I don't know, $10 or something. But that's a very expensive meal. If so, they were like, dude, we're gonna bring out the big guns in presentation for this guy. And maybe you should take it as a compliment that you're such a big spender that they gotta bring out the typewriter for you. Lets everyone in the restaurant know you're using your black card. All right. Well, anyway, that was it for the last month of We Want Plates. I hope you enjoyed the anecdote, and I swear one of these days it's going to be on here, and I'm going to be like, I've eaten that before. All right. Well, anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like if you like. Check out the playlist in the description if you want to catch up with any more Reddit-related videos. Subscribe if you're not already. And, yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time.